Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, welcome. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about the top beauty products I can't live without. These are like my ride or die. Honey, I need these products in my life. There's probably only one or two things where I've been using for like a year and a half to maybe 2 years, but everything else I have been using for literal years. So let's just go ahead and jump in. I'm gonna try to keep this as short as possible. I know my videos are just so long. I'm trying so hard to cut them down, but I just need to give you all the information. I need to explain. I need to tell you everything that I feel. I need to get it all out there. That's why you guys are here watching, right? Let me just try to just shorten it just a little bit, you know, just a little. So hopefully this isn't 50 years long, even though it very well could be. Okay, let's just jump in. So first things first, we're gonna start with skincare. Now, I am a bit of a product junkie. If you haven't noticed already, I love to try new makeup, hair products, skincare, beauty stuff. I love to just continuously try new things over and over, especially when it comes to skincare, because I'm always looking for something to perfect my skin, make my skin look perfect, get rid of my texture. I have a lot of texture on my face. I have rosacea. I just have like things that I wish that I didn't have, obviously, as does everyone. So I'm constantly trying new things when it comes to skincare. So when I went to look in my restroom and see what do I have skincare wise that is consistent, that I haven't changed, I couldn't find anything except for this one product. This is the one consistent thing that I have been using in my skincare for at least 3 years. So this is my Clarisonic. I have the Clarisonic Mia 2. This literally like dramatically changed my skin 100%. I have noticed such a difference when I started using the Clarisonic. Mind you, it is expensive. It's like $150 maybe to $200, plus the brush heads are pretty pricey. But this is one of those things that I'm gonna have forever until it breaks, which hopefully it never does, because I would be so pissed if I had to buy a new one. But this is definitely an investment. For me, it really helps rejuvenate my skin. My skincare products sink so much deeper into my skin, and I just love it. I truly can't live without it. When I travel, I don't take my Clarisonic with me. I just have a very bad habit of forgetting things. I'm a little ditzy. I don't know if you've noticed or not. I'm just a little all over the place and a little ditzy, so I do have a bad habit of forgetting things, and I would be devastated if I ever left this anywhere. So I don't take this with me when I travel. I notice such a difference in my skin when I use it. When I don't use it, which I very seldom don't unless I'm traveling, like I said, I don't take it with me, I notice my skin just looks rough. Like it looks like when you've been out drinking, like you've been on a bender and you've been drinking all weekend long and you haven't drank water in like 72 hours, you're looking a little rough. That's how my skin looks when I don't use my Clarisonic. I very seldom have to charge the battery. It gets all my makeup off. My texture has like dramatically reduced ever since I started using it. I still have texture, but it's not nearly as bad. I notice my skin doesn't break out as bad. If I had to pick like one thing out of everything here, this would definitely be my most loved, because it just saves my skin, and my makeup would look like shit if I didn't have that. Like truly, it would look like shit. So for my next product, we're gonna move on to skin. And for that, I have the Smashbox Photo Finish Radiance Primer. I have the little one for some reason. I don't know why I bought the little one and not the big one, but this is the one that I have right now. As you guys know, or if you watch my videos, I love to multi-prime my face. So I don't use this in my T-zone since I have a super oily T-zone. I use this on my forehead, around this whole part of my face, and my makeup looks incredible when I use this. I feel very radiant. I feel very luminous. It doesn't make me greasy whatsoever. I can't stand those luminizing primers that make your skin look greasy, or they have like specks of glitter in them. This doesn't have that whatsoever. I know I started using it in my early 20s. I was probably like 22 or 23. I remember I got my best friend to start using it. My grandma uses it because of me. I just love this primer, and I truly believe in it, and that's why I've been using it for now going on like, what, how old am I? I'm 28, going on like, what, 6 years now that I've been using this primer. I remember they took this off the market. I think they repackaged it, or maybe they added the hyaluronic acid, because now it has hyaluronic acid, and I don't remember if it had hyaluronic acid back then. They actually stopped selling this for the longest time, and I remember I went to Sephora and I bought like 12 of these. not 12. I probably bought like 4 or 5, but I bought quite a few because I was going crazy looking for it. I couldn't find it anywhere. They didn't even have it on like Amazon or eBay. And if they did, it was probably like $100. I want to say the full size is like $40. So it is a little bit pricey, but a little bit goes a long way. When I do have the full size, it lasts me at least a year. So you need like a very pea-sized amount. You don't need a lot of it. My makeup sits on top of it so beautifully. And I just remember when they took this off the market, I think they took it off the market for like a year. I tried so many other Radiant primers. They just weren't working. Like, they weren't working for me. I could not stand them. I just wanted my Smashbox Radiance primer back. And when this came back out, I immediately, like, I remember this, I immediately went and picked one up because it had just been too long. We needed to be reunited. So yeah, I absolutely love this. And then moving on to concealer. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking I'm gonna talk about Tarte Shape Tape. I kind of started to think when I was trying to pick out the concealer I wanted to use, I was like, you know, if Tarte Shape Tape went off the market, I think I would be okay. I really do. The thing with Shape Tape for me is that Shape Tape is very drying. It can really dry out your skin. Like for me, I can't highlight my face with Shape Tape because it's just a little too cakey. It doesn't work for me. I know a lot of people like to just go in and heavily highlight their face with Shape Tape, and for me, I just can't do that. It just sits on my skin a little too heavy. I usually have to go in with whatever is the bare minimum left over from under my eyes. I will dab that on the rest of my face, but I can't go in and heavily highlight my face with Shape Tape, which is something I like to do. I'd like to highlight my face, but I can't do it with that. Another thing is that they don't have a color for me when I'm tan. Their darker shades are too neutral or too pink. They don't have a yellow undertone concealer for me when I'm tan. So I have to go in with like a really heavy banana shade to kind of balance out the shade Light Sand that I normally use. I use that through the summer too, but I do have to very heavily go in and kind of balance it out with a little bit of a darker powder because it is so bright when I'm tan. It's just unnatural looking. So that is another thing, is that I can't use it when I'm tan. So what I actually decided to go with was MAC Pro Longwear. This was the first expensive concealer that I ever used in my life. This is not an exaggeration. I've probably gone through like 7 of these. No joke. They have such an incredible shade selection. It looks really good on the skin. I have more work time with this. I really like can take the time and kind of blend out my concealer. It doesn't dry too fast. It doesn't fade throughout the day. It is so pigmented. It covers up my dark circles. I stopped using it for a while when I got into Shape Tape, but I'm back and forth now, but I just rediscovered it and like I just forgot how much I love this concealer. Actually, I have a funny story. I used to use this when I was like first in school, so you know, I didn't have a lot of money to spend on high-end makeup, but I still wanted to venture out and try high-end makeup. Had to like shell out the what is like $22, something like that. So like, you know, when you're in college and you don't have a lot of money, $20 and $25 like is a lot of money when you're broke, you know? So it was so crazy to just like go and spend that. That was like not even my gas, because this was like back when gas was like $4 a gallon. Like I was spending like $40 to $50 on gas. So that was like half of a gas tank for me. It was my second bottle. I opened it up the first time I was using it and it just slipped out of my hand onto the tile and shattered everywhere, and I was fucking pissed because my $20 concealer was all over the floor. You guys, I have no shame in what I'm about to tell you because I really did this. My grandma even helped me do this, okay? She can contest to this. We like got down on the ground and like picked all the glass out of the concealer and put it in a Tupperware. And I did that, honey. I was not about to let my $20 go to waste. I'm not necessarily proud that I did that, but at the same time, I'm also like, I'm not ashamed, you know? Like, I was not gonna let that just go in the trash. There was no fucking way on earth. As much as I love Shape Tape, I continue to always have that on hand no matter what. You know, so I actually totally forgot to mention this. I should have mentioned this first because I'm kind of going in order. This is a tool I want to talk about, and I think this is also a little surprising because I very seldom use this in my videos. I even very seldom reach for this anymore since I have found other things to kind of dupe this that are more affordable. But if I had to pick anything to apply my foundation and concealer, I would have to go with the Beauty Blender. It seems kind of crazy that you spend so much money on a makeup sponge, but for me, I have to say that the Beauty Blender is so worth it. As much as I love the L'Oreal sponge, and I've gone through several of the L'Oreal sponges, this just lasts a lot longer for me. I don't care what anybody says, $20 or not, it's amazing. I would say for every beauty blender that I've had, I've gone through at least like 3 of the L'Oreal sponges. So it does start to crack. The L'Oreal one at least starts to crack and it just like wears away faster. Like I can only get like maybe 2 or 3 months use out of it, whereas the beauty blender, I seriously will buy this like once a year. Say what you will, that might be disgusting and I might be just totally gross for doing that, but that's how long this lasts for me. The durability is just there. On top of that, it blends out your makeup beautifully. Say I spend $20 once a year on a beauty blender and I spend like $6 or $7 every couple of months to replace the L'Oreal one. It's like the same thing, you know, it balances out. This is another one where I have an affordable option to it, but I also still keep one of these in my collection. So yeah, you could take away all my affordable cheap sponges. I would be okay with just the beauty blender. Now for blushes, I have 2 products. I couldn't narrow it down. I would absolutely need both of these in my collection. Like I would have to have both of them. I can't live without either of them. So this is MAC Warm Soul and then this is MAC Lovejoy. And MAC Warm Soul was another OG product that I have been using for so many years. Warm Soul was another one of the first expensive blushes that I've ever bought. A lot of my first were with MAC because if you guys are a little older, like, you know, my age or a little bit older, you know that MAC was the place to shop back in the day if you wanted nice, expensive makeup. Nobody shopped at Ulta. I don't remember Sephora back then, so I don't even know if Sephora was around, but if you wanted like a lipstick or you were ready to spend some money on some makeup, you know that you always went to MAC. I actually have Warm Soul on today. Hopefully you can see it. I know my lights are super bright, so they might be washing me out, but I love Warm Soul. This was another one, like back in college I bought this. I was on a kick where I used it every single day for seriously like 2 years. And that's how long that product lasts me. So these blushes, you don't have to use that much. They look beautiful on the skin. These are a mineralized blush, so they are a sheen. They're not super, super, super shimmery, but they do have a sheen to them. They just kind of melt into your skin and look like it's just part of your face, which is so crazy. But I love these so much. I'm a big fan of shimmer blushes. I know a lot of people like matte blushes, but I'm a huge fan of shimmer. I will take a shimmer blush any day over a matte blush. And those two are my 2 favorites of all time. I've gone through multiples of each. I take them with me when I do clients. They go with like dramatic looks, they go with natural looks, they go with like no makeup looks, super heavy, crazy smoky looks. So I just love both of them and they're so my tones. Lovejoy is like a rosy pink with gold flecks. And then Warm Soul is like a warm pinky bronzy peachy shade, if that even makes sense. These are my 2 favorite blushes like of all time in general. So of course I had to put them in this video. Next, we're gonna move on to kind of a random product. This is like something that I use in my everyday routine. This is another product from MAC, surprise, surprise, and this is the Shaping Powder in Emphasize. I don't know what it is about MAC products, but I feel like they just last so long for me. I feel like I never run out of them. Like I very seldom have to replenish them because they just last so long, because a little bit goes such a long way. I don't really hear a lot of people talk about this product and I don't know why, because it is so good. This is what I like to use to set my concealer with. Now I always go in with this with a banana shade or whatever other shade to kind of balance out how white it is. But no matter what I'm doing, I could be using like the best banana powder in the world. I have to put just a dab of this. And I think it's because it's so light and it's so reflective, and it also has these reflex in it. So it just like makes your under eyes beam. It very much gives you that very bright highlighted Kim K under eye look. When it comes to like concealer, the sponge, blush, stuff like that, I use other things and I try other brands, but this for me is one of those products. It's a staple. I wear it every single time I do my makeup. No matter what I'm using, I could be using any type of setting under eye powder. I have to at least have a dab of this, and it makes a difference. It has like a nice reflective sheen to it. It just looks so good. Let's move on to a highlighter. Now, I love so many highlighters. There are a lot of highlighters that I'm very passionate about. I know this is so excessive, but I probably have like 5 or 6 highlighters that I kind of just rotate between. Whatever I'm feeling that day is kind of what I'll use. But if somebody took all my highlighters away and I could only pick one to use for the rest of my life, I would definitely have to go with ABH So Hollywood. This one was really hard for me to choose because I love so many highlighters, and to me they're all beautiful in different ways, but I think the way that this looks on my skin is just what makes it my favorite. I have it on today. Hopefully you can see it. Again, I know my lights are so bright, but I just love the way this looks on my skin tone. As much as I love other highlighters, this just does it for me. It doesn't wash me out. It's not chunky. It just gives like such a pretty, reflective, like glowing highlight. It doesn't fade throughout the day, and it is like my perfect gold champagne highlighter. So yeah, definitely have to go with that. I'm gonna talk about my favorite eyeshadow primer, and this should also be no surprise. This is the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. This just does everything for me in an eyeshadow primer. It cancels out my dark circles. It doesn't make my eyeshadow crease. My eyeshadow never fades. I have very, very oily eyelids. I've tried a lot of eyeshadow primers. I can't just do concealer. I know a lot of people like to do just concealer. That never works for me because I am just so oily. I need something that is just going to like put my oils in place and not move, and this does it for me. I have used the Painterly Paint Pot, and I've tried another one from them that was like a pinky one. My favorite one is this, just because it has that yellow base, and I have such dark under eye circles. I have to have something that's just gonna kind of counteract all those dark circles that go up into my lid. It is expensive, but it lasts forever for me. I probably repurchase that maybe like once a year. I use it in my freelance kit, and I love it. It's just so tacky and sticky. Eyeshadow just like grabs onto it beautifully, but at the same time it's not unblendable. So I've tried eyeshadow primers before where I'll lay it down on my lid and eyeshadow just like grabs it, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't want to blend out, but this is like the perfect amount of stickiness. I never ever go to bed without washing my face. I only do that if I'm having like a very, very, very heavy night of drinking. This is like one of those I have drank my weight in alcohol type of situations, you know what I mean? Like I just come home and like land face first into my pillow, and I've woken up the next morning and my eyeshadow is still perfect. If you ask my best friend Kara, because we have a tendency to get into some trouble when we're together. When I go visit her, we are just like, we're fish, okay? When we're together, we are definitely fish. I can't tell you how many times I've woken up next to her and she's like, your eye makeup still looks perfect. So if that's not saying something, then I don't know what is. So yeah, that's the only primer I use. I'm not even interested in trying other eyeshadow primers because that just gets the job done for me. Okay, now let's move on to brows. Now this is another one of those products that is consistent in my routine. I've gone through 8 million of these. I use these in my kit. I love them. They're waterproof. My brows don't move, they don't fade, they don't smudge. They adhere to the skin so beautifully, and this is the Anastasia Dipbrow Pomade. I remember when this launched because I went to every single Sephora, sold out everywhere, and I finally found it at a Sephora. There was like one left in my shade. Bought it, never looked back. I'm not even interested in trying other brow pomades. I do like to go in with a pencil sometimes. I'll do a pencil if I'm lazy and I just need to like go in and do something real quick. But typically, when it comes to pomades or anything like that, this is what I go for. I love, 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 love the Dipbrow. This is another one of those things, it lasts forever. You can probably repurchase this like once, maybe twice a year. I think I go through these about once a year. So yeah, another one of those products where you don't need a lot of it. You definitely get your money's worth. With a brow pencil, I have to go in and set with a brow gel because like for me, I'm just so oily. My oils will start to kind of like disintegrate my brows. That's just what I'm working with. So I always have to go in and set with a gel, only when I use a pencil, but I never have to do that when I use this. If you're into like that bold, more Instagram brow, you can definitely get that with Dipbrow, but you can also get a very natural, subtle brow as well. And I am just not even interested in trying other brow pomades. Go outside in the hot Texas sun in like maybe July or August when it's like 100, 105. My face will be melted off, but my eyeshadow will still look good because of this primer, and my brows will never smear because of this. So if you don't believe me and you've never tried these products, Go test them out, see for yourself, because they're amazing. Now let's talk about another kind of like little random thing. I've only been using this for about a year and a half, but it has changed my life tremendously in the way that I use, especially cream products. And this is the Inglot Duraline. I have to have this. I can't live without this. This is a mixing medium. This is made to like revive cream products, make them creamy again if they get like kind of dried out. You can use this with gel liners, especially the Inglot black gel liner. That dries out so fast. I will buy that gel liner and it'll start to get kind of tacky after just like 2 months maybe. So this is a staple for me, especially if you like to go in with a very creamy wing liner and you feel like your gel liner is kind of starting to dry out and you can't really go in and do a nice smooth wing. You don't even have to do a drop. What I actually do is I just kind of like let whatever is kind of like starting to drip off from the applicator, I'll just kind of like let that fall into the pot and I'll just take my brush and dab in that area and it just brings it back to life. I use this in my Dipbrow when it starts to get old. I use it in my paint pot when it starts to get old. You can use it in any type of cream product. You can see how much I've used. I'm like to about right here. I bought this when I was in Vegas, like not this past November, but the November before I went to Vegas. So it's been about a year and a half. I use this every single time almost. And that's how much I used. It's barely anything. This is very affordable. I want to say it's like $12 or $13. This actually saved you money when you think about it. I could get halfway through my Dipbrow and it'll start to dry out. I mean, it's a cream product. It's gonna dry out. Pomades just tend to do that. I could just do a little tiny drop and I'm back to not having to buy another Dipbrow. So yeah, I love that. I want to talk about a shadow very quickly. There aren't very many shadows where I'm like, I can't live without, you know, like there's always the next best palette coming out. I love so many different palettes and so many different eyeshadows and so many different like things when it comes to doing my eye makeup, but this is something I truly have to have. This is a staple for me in my collection. I have never been able to find something that replaces this or gives me the same shiny effect that this shadow does. And if you guys have been watching my videos for a while, you should know that I am talking about MAC Nylon, and this is the most intense, beautiful brow bone and inner corner highlight. It is so shiny. It is gleaming. There are other shades and palettes that I will use to highlight the brow bone and highlight the inner corner, but I still at the same time I'm thinking this just doesn't give me what Nylon gives me. These pans are only $6. There has never been anything that stood out to me that was like, this is a replacement for Nylon. You know what I mean? There are two shades in the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette, the top two highlight shades, if you guys have that palette or are familiar with it, that are very similar to Nylon. I'll use those and I like them when I use that palette, but they don't replace Nylon for me. I love it. Can't live without it. The next thing we're going to discuss is lashes, and I had it narrowed down to 2 lashes. I was going to talk about a more dramatic one and a more natural one, but I didn't want to talk about too many products in the same category because that would defeat the purpose of this video, right? What really made me choose this lash was I can wear this lash with a really dramatic eye, but I can also wear it when I have on no eye makeup, when I'm just doing a line, when I'm doing a very natural makeup look, and this lash just does it for me. And these are the Koko Lashes in the style Goddess. I wear these all the time. If you go through my Instagram pictures, you will see how much I actually wear these lashes because I'm obsessed with them. They're not super thick to the point where they look fake, but they're just thick enough. They're shorter in the front and then they taper out and get longer at the end. They're long, but they're not too long that they're up to your eyebrows, and they're affordable. They're like $7 or $8. I probably get, like, no joke, 20 uses out of my Koko Lashes. I'm not exaggerating. Probably discovered Koko Lashes like 1 or 2 years ago. I still have my first pair of Goddess lashes that I still use like to this day because they're perfectly intact. I do clean my lashes because I don't want to get like a eye infection or anything like that. So I do clean them. They're so freaking durable. I like to soak my lashes in eye makeup remover when I clean them. Sometimes when you do that with lashes, they'll start to fall apart. I had a pair of Huda Beauty lashes, I think in the style Samantha. They're very easy to apply. They look beautiful on the eye, but I remember I had to kind of soak off the glue, and I let them sit in my eye makeup remover, my bowl. I'll let them soak for like maybe 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes max. But I remember those in particular, I took them out of the bowl and I went to pull the glue off and they just like fell apart. The band just kind of like disintegrated. My Koko lashes don't do that, and they're literally less than half the price of the Huda Beauty lashes. So they're very durable. They're absolutely amazing. Since I bought them, they've been up there as my favorite. So yeah, love those. And then the next thing I want to talk about is a lip gloss. Now I am a gloss girl. I will take a glossy lip over a matte lip any day. Of all the glosses that I've used in my life, and I have a lot, okay? I have drawers full of glosses. If you were to go in my room right now and open my makeup drawers with all my lip products in it, you would find like 5 backups of these. And this is the NYX Intense Butter Gloss in the shade Cookie Butter. This is actually what I have on today. This is what I have on a lot of the time because I just love it. And these butter glosses are, I think, $5 if I'm not mistaken. I love to buy these when they're buy one get one half off because I have to always have these. I have to be stocked up on these because this is my perfect nude gloss. It is so pretty. It has no pink in it, which I love because I do not like a pink gloss. I'm just not a fan of pink in general. And it's just that perfect nude shade for me. It is super opaque. You can wear this just by itself. The name does it justice because this is very much an intense gloss. This is the color that I'm always trying to get when I'm doing a nude lip and I'm using other products. I'm always trying to get this color. So the fact that I can get this in just one tube and it's this thick and opaque, this does it for me. I use it over lipsticks. I use it over liquid lips. I use it by itself like how I have it on today, and I love it. If they ever discontinue that shade, I don't know. Like, I would go batshit crazy. I don't know what I would do because I love that color. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to tools. This is my Sigma E40 blending brush. This to me is the most perfect blending brush in the world. I have tried, again, so many blending brushes, and not that there's anything wrong with them or that they're bad, they're just not this brush. They just aren't this brush. That's all there is to it. This is my perfect transition brush. It just blends out shadows so beautifully. This is another one. I've had it for so many years. It doesn't lose its shape. It doesn't shed. It doesn't get all like weird on me. Like some of my Morphe brushes I've mentioned before, I've used them like 4 or 5 times, and when I wash them, they just start to get all weird and they start going in all these different directions. This brush has never done that for me. Sigma is not like the most affordable brand. They're definitely cheaper than MAC, but their brushes are a little like up there in price. This brush is probably like $18, somewhere around there. This is just the blending brush for me. This is the only one that I have, surprisingly. I need to get backups of this. I need more. I don't know why I've never purchased more, but if I remember one time, you guys, I thought I lost this brush. I don't know what happened. I think it fell behind my vanity or something like that. Oh my God. I remember I thought I lost this brush and I went fucking batshit crazy looking for it. I was so pissed and I was like, I can't do my makeup. I can't do my makeup until I find that brush. So yeah, every single freaking makeup tutorial that I do, this brush is always in there. So I use it to apply my transition. I do it to go in and kind of buff out if I need to like mesh colors together, or if I feel like something is just looking a little harsh or unblended. This is just always there for me. It never ever fails me. The last thing I want to talk about is the Mario Badesco Rosewater Spray. I have gone through 18 kajillion billion bottles of these. I love this stuff. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned before that I can't use Fix Plus. Fix Plus breaks me out. I think I tried it like 3 years ago and it just like broke my skin out so bad. I ended up returning it. I want to retry it again, but honestly I'm kind of scared because I don't want it to break me out. For me, this is Fix Plus. I love this. I keep it in my kit. I have this one that I keep on my vanity. I have a backup of this. Sometimes I'll even just hate my face makeup. Like I feel like I just look so ugly. I look so powdery. I look so cakey. And as soon as I spray this onto my face, everything just looks better. Like, it just makes me look better. It makes me feel better. I'll use this on my skin when I have no makeup on, but my favorite way to use this is definitely as a finishing touch to my makeup. It just settles all my powders. It doesn't leave like those weird spots where it kind of makes your makeup move. It has so many good ingredients in it, and I just love it. I even like to use this sometimes when I don't have any makeup on and I'm just feeling like a little dehydrated, or I just need like a little pick-me-up. This is what I use. So I absolutely love this stuff. It smells so good too. It smells like roses, and who doesn't love the smell of roses? So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a long one. Actually, this was like the perfect ending because my battery is dying and I need to start cooking dinner. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what else you want to see. I don't know what's going on with my eye. It's just like so sensitive to all the lights around me right now. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you ever take the time to watch any of my videos or comment or like my videos or interact with me or whatever, I love talking to you guys. Let me know what else you want to see in the comments below. Leave me your thoughts, comments, concerns, whatever you want to do, just let me know in the comment box below. All my makeup that I have on, I'll be listing in the description box below. I know a lot of people will comment and ask me questions about what I have on, so everything will be below, along with, oh my god, I don't know what's going on with my eye. It's like going crazy right now. Along with all of the products that I talked about today. And make sure you go ahead and give me a thumbs up before you go, and then subscribe before you leave. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'm trying to cut this short before my camera dies on me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.